This is problem 3 on the practice test. We are to create a baseball player class. And let's begin by uncommenting all of the stuff related to problem number 3. So it looks like our test code creates something called player 1. And it's Babe Ruth playing for the Yankees, 100 hits, 300 at-bats. And player 2 is Ted Williams, Red Sox, 203 hits, 500 at-bats. And another one with Babe Ruth, but this is all uppercase and Yankees is all lowercase. And we've got 0 divided by 0 to compute the batting average. Okay. So, let me see. I should not have uncommented this. Apparently I did. So let's comment that back out. So let's create a new class. You go to your project and go to Add Class. The name of our class is going to be Baseball Player. You capitalize class names by convention. Let's click on Add. Okay. And let's take a look at the description. So it has 4 private values. Private string, player name. Private string, team. Private int, not print, private int hits, private int at-bats. Okay. Write a parameterized constructor that accepts a name, a team, number of bats, and number of hits and number of bats in that order and creates a baseball player object. So constructors are always public. Constructors always have the same name as the class. The class is called baseball player. And they have an argument list in parentheses, and our argument list is going to be player name, team, I'm going to use the same variable names here, hits, and at-bats. And I forgot to put my types in. So this is a string, this is a string, this is an int, and this is an int. And I misspelled at-bats up here. Okay. So we need to initialize the variables. So this is just a simple, 4 copy commands that copy the value into the private variable. The private variables are distinguished from the parameters down here by using the reserved word this. So this dot player name equals player name, and this dot team equals team. And this dot hits equals hits. I keep doing that. And this dot at-bats equals at-bats. Okay. And again, if you click on one of these names here, it will show you the corresponding one. So we know that the only 2 occurrences of this variable are here and here. So this is referring to the one that got passed in. This one, on the other hand, is referring to the private variable up here. And you'd see the same thing if you clicked on team and hits and at-bats down here. So the one on the right always refers to the argument list. The one preceded by this always refers to the private variable. Okay. It says do some error checking and throw an exception with appropriate error message. Both hits and at-bats must be 0 or greater. So we will we'll just do that at the very beginning, I think. If hits is less than 0 or at-bats is less than 0, and we want to throw a new exception. Actually, let's do two of these. I like error messages that are relatively clear. So we'll say hits cannot be less than 0. Okay. And then we'll do the at-bats part in another one, so they will know for sure which variable to look at because we have a specific error message. Let's go on to number 2. It says for each of the 4 private variables, write property procedures, get, set, pairs, and it's going to be the same as the variable names but with capital letters. So these are always public. The player name is a string, and we're going to call player name with a capital P. And set, we'll take player name and set it equal to, let's do this just to make everything clear. Team with a capital T, no parentheses. Return this dot team. Two more. Okay, one more. Okay, and then we need to write some public methods. Batting average returns a float. So public float is going to be returned. The name of the function is batting average. And it's going to return the floating point value of the hits divided by the at-bats. But if at-bats is 0, that'll give us an error. So if at-bats, what we're supposed to do is equal to 0, then we're going to return the number 0. Mathematically, that's technically not correct, but if you haven't had any batting appearances yet and no hits, then that's what you're assigned in baseball is a 0. Okay, and if at-bats is 0, return 0. Else, at-bats is not 0, so we can go ahead and divide by it. So we want to return. Now these are integers, though. If we do integer division, we'll get a 0 unless they're batting 1,000. So we need to convert into float. Okay. So we can convert one of them to a float, and once there's one floating point number in there, then the whole thing becomes a float. We want to check for equality, and they will be considered equal if they have the same name and the same team, and the comparison should not be case sensitive. So we got two instances of Babe Ruth that should be equal, even though the case of the letters is different. So this is going to be public, Boolean equals, whoops, and I've got to have another thing to compare it to. So I'm going to compare it with another baseball player. Call it other. So we want to compare if this dot name, player name, dot to upper is equal to other dot player name dot to upper, and this dot team dot to upper is equal to other dot team dot to upper. Then they're equal, so I'm going to return true. Okay, and that should get rid of our red wavy line, and it does. And then we have one more, toString. One more, toString that returns a string with the three parts, three private variables separated by slashes. Okay, so public string, toString, and it did say we need to do an overrides here. Otherwise, we'll just get the name of the program followed by the type, which is baseball player, which doesn't tell us anything. So I want to return a string, so we can just do this one return statement, basically. It's going to be this dot name plus this dot team plus this dot hits plus this dot at bats plus this dot batting average. And I want to do a toString on that. And I think if we pass in N3, I think it'll display it with 3 decimal places. Okay, now that took us a while. Let's go back to our main program here. And let's see, so we're going to create 3 of them. We are going to print out the first 2. We're going to check to see, you can do some equality comparisons here. Player 1 and player 2 obviously are not equal, but player 1 and player 3 should be, according to our rules. And then we're going to check to see if we're getting our batting averages right as well. So we can tell from the output what the correct answer is supposed to be. And we've already done this stuff, so we don't really need to worry about that. So I forgot to put my slashes in. Okay, this should be false. It is. Should be true. Should be 333, 406, and 0. So everything's working. You know, my thinking was pretty correct, but missed an important little detail here. So add in slash. Okay, let's try to run it now. This time when we print out our strings, they should look a little bit nicer than they did before because I have slashes in there. Okay, so it looks like our baseball player class is working, so we'll stop this video. It's getting to be kind of long already. and then we'll do number 4 on a final video.